let's say you want to buy a house from someone in bankruptcy. What are the things that we need to do? What do we need? What are the pitfalls? What do we need to guard against? All of that kind of good stuff.
Okay. So what usually happens in a regular type of sale that you're going to do with is you're gonna draft your documents and you're going to put pending bankruptcy court approval. That means you're going to enter escrow, but it's not going to close unless the bankruptcy court says it's going to close.
So we have to go
What has
before
to
a
happen
judge.
before a judge? So what has to happen is that the person selling the house has to go into bankruptcy court and say, which client is willing to pay $2 million for this house. Does anybody want to pay more for it? And Whit and I have been through this process. People are going to get noticed through various means of the sale, and people will walk in the court and will say increments of 50,000. Does anybody want to pay 2,050,000? Someone might get up. You have the ability to raise your bid at 2,100,000, and the final person with the highest bid is going to get the house. One thing when I was talking about this with Whit, what a bankruptcy lawyer needs to do is, if you buy the house and the judge orders the sale, usually the person selling the house is running all the documents, and he does a fairly decent job. But one thing he won't do for the buyer is say that the buyer is a good faith purchaser, because that doesn't interest him. And why that's important, and this is a bankruptcy thing, is you buy the house and the person who you outbid with is not happy. If he sits and files a notice of appeal, that sale can't close unless you have that in the order. And I've seen a lot of times just no one thought of it and it's not in the order, and all of a sudden you have a sale. It wasn't residential, it was commercial, but the sale's held up. So make sure you have a lawyer at least that knows that has to be in there, because that gets overlooked all of the time. But otherwise, that's really the process. It's going to be run by the trustee, and there's a lot of deals to be made. Buying distressed assets.